All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're tackling one of the oldest and, let's be honest, most fun rivalries out there, cats versus dogs. It's a debate that happens pretty much everywhere, from living rooms to the internet.
But what if I told you the answer isn't about which animal is just better? What if it's really about which one we form a better relationship with? And what if science could actually give us an answer? You're going to want to stick around for this because the conclusion is probably not what you think.
So let's start with what we all think we know. You've got the stereotypes, right? Dogs are loyal and full of energy. Cats are independent and kind of chill. Seems like it's just a simple choice, a matter of taste. So let's kick things off with the conventional wisdom and look at it from the perspective of Team Cat. What are those go-to arguments that make cat people so positive they made the right call?
Let's make the case for cats.
The argument you hear most often really boils down to practicality. People will tell you cats are just easier. They're quieter, they're cleaner, and they're usually less expensive. Plus, they're super independent, so they do great in smaller spaces, and hey, on average, they live longer too. And that quieter point, man, that really hits home for a lot of people. Like this one owner said, even a loud cat just doesn't compare to a barking dog. That simple peace and quiet, it's a huge, huge plus. Okay, so that's the traditional argument. It all makes a certain kind of sense. But this is where things are about to take a pretty sharp turn. What if that whole cats versus dogs debate is just the wrong way to look at it? So let's just throw out the idea of putting one animal on a pedestal. Instead, let's reframe the whole thing. What if it's not about the animal, but about the quality of the bond we actually have with them? And this is where it gets really cool. We're going to dig into a fascinating study that took a serious scientific look at the human-pet bond. They actually used a standardized tool to measure the quality of these relationships. The tool they used is called the Monash Pet Owner Relationship Scale. It's built on this idea from sociology called social exchange theory. The basic gist is that a good relationship is one where what you get out of it, the benefits, outweigh what you put in, the costs. And this scale breaks it all down into three main parts. First, there's emotional closeness, that feeling of being buddies, of having support. Second is interaction, pretty simple, just the time you spend doing stuff together. And third is perceived cost, and that's everything from money and time to how much your pet restricts your life. Now here is the really clever part of how they set up the study. They didn't just ask cat owners and dog owners separately. Nope. They found people who live with both a cat and a dog, and had those people rate their relationship with each pet. It's a direct, head-to-head comparison. And believe me, the results were not what you'd expect. So are you ready? Let's get to the data. This is where all that conventional wisdom starts to fall apart. First up, emotional closeness. And yeah, the data shows dogs scored higher. No big surprise there. Owners said they felt more companionship, more social support from their dogs. That fits the whole man's best friend thing perfectly. So 1 point for Team Dog. This feels right, it feels familiar. But remember what that social exchange theory said. This is only one piece of the puzzle. It's not the whole story.
Now let's look at the other side of the coin, perceived cost. And here's the trade-off. Dogs come with a much higher price tag in terms of responsibility, money, and just life restrictions. Cats, they're seen as way less demanding. You could say they're a cheaper relationship.
Okay, so you've got this tug of war. On one side, you have higher emotional closeness from dogs. On the other, you have a much higher cost. So how does it all balance out? When you weigh the good against the bad, who actually comes out on top? And here it is, the final results. When you weigh all the benefits against all the costs, cats actually come out slightly ahead with a better overall relationship score. That significantly lower cost more than makes up for that small gap in emotional closeness. Whoa. Okay, so does that just mean cats are better, end of story? Well, no, not really. What it actually means is that we need to stop asking who the winner is. The real question is about us, the humans. The real takeaway here, the big idea, is that the best pet isn't about the animal at all. It's about figuring out which kind of relationship dynamic is the best fit for your personality and your life. And this makes so much sense when you look at studies on pet owner personalities. People who gravitate towards cats tend to be a bit more introverted, independent, maybe more self-contained. Dog people? Often more social, outgoing, and they enjoy being part of a group. You can totally see how these different relationship styles would appeal to each type, right? It just clicks into place when you think about it like that. That low-cost, less demanding relationship you get with a cat, it's a fantastic fit for someone who's more independent. But for someone who's really social, that higher investment you put into a dog is totally worth it for that big emotional payoff.
And really, it all comes down to this idea. The debate isn't about cats versus dogs as a whole. It's about that specific, one-of-a-kind bond that you form with an individual animal. So, next time this whole debate pops up, maybe the question we should be asking isn't, are you a cat person or a dog person? The real question is, what do you value most in a relationship? Is it that constant, active companionship, or is it more about quiet affection and mutual independence? The answer to that question, well, that'll tell you everything you need to know.